Hey ladies, it's Sydney from Syddin Pretty here, reinforcing the fundamentals of hair care. If you're new here, my name is Sydney. I am a hair restoration specialist, and what that means is I help women with textured hair learn how to heal and restore their hair through the use of refined protective styling and heat styling methods. So if you are currently dealing with textured hair that is not yet at a place where it is reaching its fullest potential, and you prefer to style your hair through extensions and heat styling, then make sure you consider clicking that subscribe button so that you can join Pretty Gang today. I have a very fun video, and I have a fun video because this is kind of different from what I've posted, and I know this is something you all would be interested in. What that is a relaxer touch-up. Now, you all are used to seeing me touch up my own relaxer on my channel, talk about my relaxer on my channel, complain about what is going on with my relaxed hair on this channel, but you've never really seen me add another person to the equation. So I figured that I film this because it's very obvious that you all are interested in the relaxed hair conversation. So the theme of this video is going to be like the silk press video I did a while ago, where I talked about the point of view, or I titled it the point of view of your mom silk pressing your hair in the kitchen. Okay, so this point of view is you are relaxing your sister's hair from home. Okay, maybe you all are in a pinch, maybe you can't find a reputable stylist, or maybe you simply can't afford it, okay? And you want a few tips that could possibly make this process a bit easier for you. So in this video, I'm going to give you all some of the things that I learned as I've embarked on my relaxed hair journey, and hopefully you will find value in them. This particular model that you're seeing in this video has so-called 4C hair. Her hair is very fine, and historically it was always highly porous, but I feel like her porosity has normalized tremendously since I began working on her hair. This touch-up, as you will probably see from the title already, is after 1 whole year of no relaxer. And for the conditions that her hair has been in this entire time, the end result shocked me, and they will probably shock you all as well. Before I tell you why I believe that these end results will shock you all, make sure you click that link in the description box and get your hands on my newest ebook, Choosing the Right Products. And that product, or that digital product, that ebook, I teach you all of the fundamental knowledge you need to learn how to become a smarter consumer when it comes to shopping for products. Believe it or not, you do not have to go around trying endless amounts of products in order to find the right ones for you. What you do need to do is educate yourself on what your hair needs in terms of products, how to properly use products, and how to properly shop for products according to those properties. Okay, so that is what I teach you all how to do in that ebook. You can click the link in the description box to get your hands on it now. So the reason I said that I feel as though the end result was shocking was because she has kept her hair in a bun underneath wigs for the last year. Yes. Now, it was not one single bun. She did, wash her hair in between that, of course. It wasn't just like literally one whole bun, but her hair just was not taken care of. And I want you all to go and refer back to my video, Yes, You Can Grow Your Hair Long, Strong, and Weaves, and also Roller Set on Relaxed Hair, because there you'll be able to find her journey. But for her, she has a consistency problem in her hair regimen, okay? And I feel like her journey is a prime example of how I teach you all Even when you find a reputable stylist, you have to make sure that you are doing your due diligence at home to maintain your results, because the client stylist relationship is a partnership, and if you are not holding up your end of the deal, it does not matter how much work your stylist puts in during your appointments. It will all go down the drain if it is not being paired with the proper aftercare. So definitely check out her journey over the last couple of years to see, kind of where her hair has been. And this is why I encourage you all to click that link in my bio, in my description box, and get your hands on the free version of my 5 keys for success in your healthy hair journey guide. Because in that guide, I help you all build the mental foundation to help you repeating, the same bad cycles when it comes to your hair. It really starts in the mindset. You really have to start training your mind differently, as well as instilling new habits if you want to see long-term results in your hair journey and any journey you embark on, period, whether that be fitness, personal development, etc. So like I said, this is a year touch-up on a relaxer, so of course there is plenty of new growth. I would encourage you all to check out my self-relaxing technique, where I show you all how you can correct your relaxer at home and relax your hair in sections if you are someone who is overwhelmed by relaxing your hair all at once and you want a more foolproof way at approaching your relaxed hair. But in that video, I show you all how I believe air drying could be helpful when it comes to showing you the line of demarcation. So I did ask her her hair wasn't washed anytime recently or near this video, when this video was filmed, but she did kind of put a little bit of water on it the day before, so it kind of helped, but not really. I just eyeballed it. But that is why, that is the reason that the application is so thick and so heavy in terms of how long or how far down the relaxer is being applied. But if you notice, I am not applying it on the scalp, and I'm not applying it on the scalp because if you didn't know by now, and I'm going to assume a lot of you don't, because when I see a lot of at-home relaxed hair videos, a lot of people automatically go for the scalp first. But when you're dealing with chemical process, color, relaxers, whatever, the hair closest to your scalp is going to process faster due to the body heat. Okay, so you don't want to apply it directly to the base of the hair. You want to start below that. And when I say below that, it depends on when you're touching up. In this video, you see me doing it about an inch. In some areas, it looks like about 1.5 inches, but the point is it's not near the scalp to where it would process super fast. And another important tip that I will give you all is making sure that you don't just apply it to the front of the hair section or the part, but you also apply it to the back as well to make sure that it processes evenly through. Of course, we based her scalp, and we based it all the way through, not just around the perimeter, not only to protect her skin, her scalp, but to also, I find that pre-parting makes it easier to part through the hair as you're going through. I didn't use the twisties. Some people do use the twisties and the braids, and if you find that works for you when it comes to pre-sectioning, then that's for you. I tried that once on myself and I did not like it, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. I just don't find it to be necessary for me. And that's the thing with this, for those of you all who are doing your hair at home, period, but especially when it comes to this, you have to make sure that you set yourself up to do it in a way that works best for you. Get the fundamentals down. Like I said, do not apply it to your scalp. Don't apply it on your scalp or up to your scalp. Or you don't apply it up to your scalp first, and don't apply it on your scalp. Make sure you're hitting the front and the back of the parting. These are examples of fundamentals. But when it comes to all of the improvisions in between, Y'all understand, it comes down to preference. It comes down to circumstances. I always tell y'all on my channel, get the fundamentals, get the principles. Everything else outside of that is arbitrary. It comes down to what you feel most comfortable with. Hair care is not black and white. It is very simple, but it's not black and white or this or that or binary to the point where it can only be done one way. So these are examples of fundamentals, but all of the other things, for example, when you see me do my self-relaxing technique, I'm not saying you have to do that. That's just the method that I found easiest for me. And I'm sharing it with the intention of adding some variety to the conversation so that if anyone who's also struggling can find some helpful pointers in that technique. Now, another key thing when it comes to applying your relaxer is you want to be mindful of how you are applying the relaxer, because the way that you are applying it is going to be the same sequence that you follow to rinse it out. And I will show you all that at the end of this video. But as you can see, I chose to go counterclockwise, starting with the back of the hair because that is where it is the most coarse, and not just the back 2 quadrants, but also starting with the top of the quadrants where the hair is the most coarse. If you notice, I applied it on the nape and the lower area, the lower end of the quadrant, because her hair is fine, period, but her hair is very, not just fine, but it's looser there, it's softer there. So that's why I applied it there last, so that it would not process too quickly.
Every time I'm with you, I don't wanna push you farther away, no, I don't wanna play no.
You have to pay attention to your hair when it comes to silk pressing, relaxers, sew-ins, etc. If someone has a thin spot in a certain part of their head that they don't have in other areas, then obviously you want to be mindful of how you're braiding there. I believe that a lot of hair woes that are often experienced stem from a lack of being able to improvise and being able to take each person's head and their unique hair situation into consideration when it comes to performing whatever technique or service. So you have to take everyone's situation into consideration. Another thing that I found helpful when it comes to home relaxing is making sure that you have everything set up before you get to applying relaxers. So making sure you have enough relaxer lying around, making sure you have all your tools together, not lying around, but making sure that you have all of your tools at hand, you have enough relaxer, making sure that you have a game plan, making sure the hair is detangled beforehand, making sure, like I said, you can pre-part your sections. Also taking into consideration the person's hair or your hair before you actually apply the product. Different things. Setting up your rinse out station ahead of time so that your shampoos, you have towels, everything is ready to go. There are no dishes in the sink if you're rinsing it in the kitchen. And that's the whole other thing. Are you rinsing it out in the kitchen? Are you rinsing it out in the bathtub? You got to have your game plan together so that you got your timing right. Setting your timer. That's a whole other part of the conversation. Making sure that your timer is set. Now, as for timing, this particular relaxer that was used, their suggestion for fine hair is 10 to 15 minutes for the application as well as the smoothing. I believe that This was applied and smoothed in about, the clock was set for 16 minutes, and I think we probably went to about 20 minutes or something like that. The timing thing is a really weird issue, y'all. The timing thing is an issue. I mean, excuse me, not an issue. The timing thing is one of those things where it's like, I feel like it's best to start with less than more, but for me personally, I've just had to figure it out as I've gone, because it really has depended on the relaxer I've been using and, you know, my technique. Did I underprocess my hair last time? It's just, you have to, you'll get the hang of it. But of course, it's better to have less than more, but then you don't want to have it too little to where it's not enough time. But I feel like I've noticed for myself as well as others, it's like that 20 minutes, and that's like with extra time to smooth. And 20 minutes is like, it seems to be, the 18 to 20 minutes seems to be about what it is. But I know I was relaxing my hair in 15 minutes at one point, and that seemed to work, but I was using a different relaxer. So y'all, follow the instructions, but also pay attention to what you got going on. So as you can, and as a disclaimer, y'all, like I said, these are tips I'm using for at-home relaxers. I do not offer relaxers, and I am not a relaxer specialist. These are observations I noticed throughout my relax journey. Okay, I want to make that clear. But definitely check out the videos of not just professional stylists, but professional stylists who are well versed in relaxers. Okay, these are things that I've noticed over this past 4 years, almost 4 years that I've been relaxed and self-relaxing. So as you can see, as I'm going back, I'm applying the relaxer up to the scalp, not on the scalp, but up to the scalp. That doesn't mean there won't be a little bit that gets on it, but again, I'm not necessarily applying it to the scalp, I'm applying it up to the scalp. And that makes a difference, because that should cut down on the contact that your scalp has with the relaxer, which should reduce your chances of burning with it prematurely, so that you can make sure you're getting the full process on. Another key tip is to remember that you're free to relax your hair however you like. However, if you like to maintain the integrity in the hair, it is nice to not relax the hair bone straight, because you don't want it to be over processed. And that's what you all are going to notice in this video, is her hair still had a good amount of texture left, to where although her hair is on the finer side, she has very fine strands, and she considers her hair to be thin. I don't think it's thin, I just think she has fine hair. She does have some thinning in the crown area, just due to past abuse of drawstring ponytails and gel and wet buns and things of that nature, braids. But you want to make sure that you leave the strength in the hair.
I don't wanna push you farther away, no, I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you.
Now, I don't offer shortcuts, but I've worked around a lot of stylists that do offer shortcuts. If you are a stylist that specializes in shortcuts, please let me know in the comments. But it seems like shortcuts are almost relaxed bone straight. almost. A lot of the times I could be wrong, but it seems like when it comes to how long you process or how straight you get the hair, when it comes to shortcuts, it seems like there's more leeway with shortcuts. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like. Y'all let me know in the comments. I have had a shortcut once on my hair, which I actually did not like. And it was relaxed. But I do not offer shortcuts. Another observation that you will make is, yes, the product is being applied to the hairline last, because that is where it is more fragile. Now, in this particular case, she did have a lot of got-to-be glue caked onto her hairline, so that did affect the way that some of the hairs processed. But overall, it still came out very nicely in my opinion, especially considering how long it had been since the last relaxer. It really evened out, because the last relaxer she came in with, which I did not do, it was all over the place. So it's more even now. So as you can see, we're rinsing the hair out. It's not cold, it's not hot, it's just a nice normal warm temperature. One thing that I used to do wrong is I would rinse it out, but I wouldn't rinse it out very thoroughly, because I thought I had to hurry up and get the neutralizing shampoo on there, y'all. Now I make sure I rinse very thoroughly, because it makes it easier to neutralize the hair. Especially if you're using the color alarm ones, if you don't have it rinsed out, it's going to take forever to get the hair neutralized. So don't be afraid to be thorough when it comes to removing the product. You know, water temperature wise, you know, as you will notice, I'm using my fingers, not my nails, but the pads of my fingers to help remove the product. And I'm being very thorough, making sure that I get the hairline, making sure that I get the edges, etc. I did not show me smoothing the hair, and I forgot to kind of talk about it, but basically what I did after applying it to the roots was kind of worked the relaxer down to finish processing the rest of the new growth and allow it to just be uniform, meet the previously relaxed ends, so it wasn't there wasn't any sort of line of demarcation left, because that's another mistake. I know on my own hair, I used to be so nervous about getting the previously relaxed ends, but you know, as long as you're applying it properly, making sure you're not applying it up to the new growth, the previously relaxed ends right away, you know, you don't have to, this is an intense process and you do have to be intentional, but being too scary, y'all, it can be bad too. And that's something else that I noticed. So like I said, I'm rinsing it out in the order that I applied the relaxer in, so that it can process evenly, because that's a mistake I've made in the past before, is just being so scary and just rinsing it out right away, and then you end up with under processed hair. So when you're doing it counterclockwise in the way that you apply it, you are allowing it to finish processing the way it's supposed to, nice and evenly. In my latest ebook, Choosing the Right Products, which I mentioned earlier, you all can get in the description box. It's an amazing ebook to teach you how to become a better consumer, how to be a smarter consumer, and better at product selection, saving you time and money in the long run, and disappointment. In that ebook, I teach you all about how to properly mix and match products, because you do not have to stick to a singular product line, y'all. when it comes to regular old products. Every product in a line is not always going to hit. And suppose you find a clarifying shampoo from one line that's really good, but you don't like the rest of the line, but then you find another line that you like all of the products. It's okay to bring that clarifying shampoo over. You can mix and match products. I feel like when it comes to the relaxer systems though and chemicals, you want to be mindful of, if a relaxer comes as a system, y'all use the system. So for example, I've worked by stylists who use the Affirm Fiber Guard, and that is an example of relaxer system. Now you have certain stylists who might improvise differently, whatever, but generally I do believe in mixing and matching products. But when it comes to chemicals, if it's sold as a system, use the system. That's something else that I would say to you all. I will admit though, when it comes to my relaxer routine, I don't use all of the products in the particular line that I use. I do not, and my hair is fine. But that relaxer is not as intricate as, like I said, that other brand Affirms is. They have a few products that I have bought the entire line, and I realized, for example, one of their products, it's really just conditioner. So now I just use conditioner to serve that purpose. And we can talk about this more in the academy. That is something to be mindful of, y'all. If it comes as a system, use the system until proven otherwise. I left the sound on for this portion of the video, and I'm going to allow you all to just hear it. But make sure you rinse that relaxer out thoroughly, and make sure you gently scrub it out as well with the pads of your fingers, not your nails. No, we're not using tea tree shampoo or any of those aromatic, sensational type of shampoos that will irritate the scalp. Just using simple, neutralizing, clarifying shampoo to make sure that we get that product out. And you all make sure that you tune back in for part 2, where you will see the aftermath and the styling process. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you get your hands on the Choosing the Right Products ebook. The link is in the description box.
I've been thinking about you. Oh yeah. Oh, there ain't no one else that does the things that you do to me. That's what.
Oh, sorry. Turn this way. Back up a little bit. Thank you. Yeah. Where's the relaxer? Why is this so pink? Here it is.